Hey, how about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live Recruiting Show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on the 3. Dadgummit, today is Wednesday, February the 19th for you. It is Tuesday evening, February the 18th for us. Keep that in mind moving forward. If we screw up with any today's, tomorrow's, or yesterday's. Fantastic show for you tonight. We've got questions from the corner. We've got some how about yous. We're going to talk some recruiting, a little bit more recruiting, and maybe even some other recruiting. Here to do it with me all, as always, Mr. Cole Pinkston, Sir Alan Head. How about you?
How about you, everybody?
How about you, everybody?
In my best Keith Niebuhr voice. How about you, everybody?
Oh, Keith Niebuhr, we miss you and love you. All right, fellas, we are going to get into some recruiting questions. I think there's some basketball-related recruiting questions in here. I glanced over the corner post. If you haven't already, go check out Auburn Live on 3. We've got a special going right now, $1 for each week for the next year. So basically an annual subscription for $52. Go check that out if you haven't already. Lots of stuff going on. Spring practice will get underway in about 3.5 weeks. We're going to get to some questions, but before we do, you see me rocking the flip top Q-zip. There.
Looking clean, man. Looking real
Very
clean.
Me. I love me some Roback. Everybody knows what Roback is, don't they? Oh, you don't?
I got mine on tonight.
Oh, if you don't, there's only one way to describe Roback. Best fit, best feel. For those who are familiar with Roback, they're completely changing the game with their incredibly comfortable activewear. Roback has released so many items with their new licensed game day collection, and it's our favorite with novel polo designs and clean hoodie, Q-zip designs, which I'm rocking tonight. Some of your favorite school, including Auburn. It's definitely worth checking out. Roback shorts and their Delta Performance pants are the perfect pairing as well. They're both super comfortable, have an elastic waistband, and great fabric that is made to have the appearance of a nice short look, but the comfort for a day on the move. Roback has also been proudly leading the NIL charge, having signed partnership with multiple college football stars, past and present, and are becoming the go-to brand for college athletes across the country. Use the promo code Auburn20, that's AUBURN20, on Roback.com for a generous 20% off for all new customers through the end of this week. No, I'm going to extend it. Forget this week. The promo goes on. Use Roback.com for a generous 20% off for all new customers. That's spelled RHOBACK.com. 20% off performance polo shorts and more with code Auburn20. All right, appreciate it. Roback hanging tough with us.
Man, I didn't even notice you had a Roback shirt on there, Alan. That looks sharp, dude.
Yeah, man.
Are you rocking a Roback?
I am, brother. Little logo there. You can probably barely see it because of my name tag over there.
It's the same as this.
That's the
yes, yeah.
That's the performance hoodie, right?
You got it. No, they're definitely a worthwhile investment. Me and my wife got into these for a little Christmas holiday season, a swapping of gift action. And I can assure you from a customer that very much appreciates what he got, it is well worth it. So definitely take advantage. 20% off. That's a steal, guys. Make sure you're using it.
That's right. Auburn 2-0. All right, fellas, let's get right into the questions from the corner. Let's see what the folks want us to talk about when it comes to Auburn recruiting, what they want to know about when it comes to Auburn recruiting. Decone 24 getting us started off tonight. Today. Gun to the head. I would love a good violent question, Decone. Do we sign all of C.D. Morgan, Vodney Cleveland, Trenton Henderson, and Hezekiah Harris? Gun to the head, fellas.
No on all of them.
What, you don't think Auburn signs any of them? Is that what you're saying?
No. He said gun to the head. Do we sign each?
I got you. No, getting all 4 is what you're saying.
No on all 4 of those. I like us for Vodney Cleveland and one of Henderson or Harris.
I think that's very fair. I like how you did that.
I just think it's going to be tough to get both of those in the same class, especially if you're going to take your swing at Zion Ely, Andrew Harris, multiple others that you got on your edge target board.
Is it conceivable Auburn signs all 4? Sure. I think there's a world in which Auburn swings C.D. Morgan. I think they can get Vodney Cleveland. I think they could get Trenton Henderson and maybe hang on to Hezekiah Harris. I just don't think it's very likely.
Agreed. If we're putting percentages on it, right?
Well, you made a good point, Alan. I saw it on the corner on a thread. I can't remember which one, but you said, we're getting a little hung up on the picture of right now because the picture of right now versus even in the summer, just a few months from now,
Yes.
it's so drastically different. Actually, it's not just different; it's drastically different. I mean, guys that you're like, who did we know Auburn was actually going to get this time a year ago? Tavares Dice, we felt good about.
Yeah.
Devin Williams, I think, was starting to be that guy. Alvin, we always felt good about Alvin.
We did.
Even when he
Eric
committed to Penn State.
Yeah, Eric Winters, we had positive feeling about, but
Yep.
Georgia was a real contender there. And in fact, I mean, I think it's all of our information. I'm not spilling the tea anymore when I
Sure.
say this. Eric was going to go to Georgia there for, a little bit.
I think Eric said that. I think he told either Chad Simmons or he's like,
Remember, he was the Joseph Phillips of 2025.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. Now, New Boy Fagans, that was one we all three collectively, and I'm talking about, it took him all the way to the summer to commit, but in January, all three of us were hearing, hey.
Never felt like he was going anywhere but Auburn.
Correct. That's the one out of all those where I felt like, okay, he's going to Auburn, him and Tavares Dice, and then Florida got in the mix with Tavares, and it kind of mixed things up a little bit.
Yeah. But
so
I say that to say, our answer today, you have to understand when we're giving you the answer as it stands today, which is what all these articles are writing are too. That's today.
Yes.
We want to make sure you have the clearest picture of today, which my answer on that question is no, a pretty strong no as of today.
Agreed.
Concur.
Yeah.
Oh, Donald, do you think he pronounces Don? Do you think it's Michelle or Mitchell?
Mitchell.
You think so?
I think he missed the T.
Do you think he misspelled his own name?
Probably.
Maybe
but only because we know Don, right?
Yes.
It's very possible that Donald Mitchell was taken somewhere, maybe.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
What if it's Michelle? Michelle?
Look, I worked for an Admiral Michelle, and it was spelled like that. So,
really?
Yeah.
Don's going to call in Sunday night and set us all straight.
He probably will. He's going to treat us like some of the Bammers he treated on the call-in show the other day. So
I'll say, I see you laughing at me, Alan.
Yep.
Oh, Jay Lee, when you come to Birmingham?
Playing quarters over there, Hooters. I hear you, Don.
Let's see what Don wants to know. Do we have room to get anyone in the spring portal? Absolutely. If so, how many and what position? This is a good question.
Yeah,
We've hit on it a little bit, but as of today, fellas, I'll name the position. How many do y'all think Auburn looks to sign? Quarterback, they're done.
Yes.
Running back, we think they're done.
Yep.
Interior offensive lineman.
I mean, it's on the table. Is it a priority?
I don't think it's a priority, but it depends on who enters, right? That one's more about what's available by comparison to need, in my opinion.
TBD.
You have to remember this. There's going to be some guys that leave Auburn in this portal. It's going to happen. That's the law of averages, right?
It is.
And what position do you think is most likely to leave? And you look at the offensive line and you go, well, they really don't need an interior offensive lineman, but what if one leaves?
Man, it's so difficult to get depth from the portal.
It really is.
Because everybody leaving is a depth piece somewhere or looking to, move up in the pay scale. It's just so difficult to find a guy to come in to compete for the second.
It is. And I want to give Deion Sanders some credit for this. He said basically portal recruiting in January is about recruiting starters, right? And then in the spring, it's about swapping backups and how good can you assess swapping backups and who can fill into your two deep?
Beautifully put, Deion.
I thought so too.
Beautifully been. He would know.
Alan, do you think, Jeffrey, do y'all think that because a year ago, Auburn gets Keandre Lambert-Smith in the spring portal?
Now that was a rare one, right? Like of this, yeah.
Auburn gets, Isaiah Rakes. You could almost call him a starter. You could say that Philip Bleedy was starting rotation type of guy. I think there may have been one more I'm missing, but you got some guys that were starter level in the spring portal. Do you think that Auburn has already exhausted that? from a money standpoint, maybe.
What starting positions? Linebacker?
Yes, linebacker's the one to me.
Mike. You get starting Mike, that might be the deal.
Well, linebacker and 3-tech. Those are the two spots I'm looking at right now that I think you could go get a starter potentially. Now, Malik Blockton's going to have something to say about the 3-tech position, and you guys
could at least pitch that.
You could pitch that, right? Those are the two spots to me where you have playing time available for guys to come in, and they could absolutely be in a rotation that would be advantageous to them. You're going to get, whether you're the starter or not, you're getting starter level snaps or snap count, right?
Okay, so as it stands now, we say no quarterback, no running back, no interior offensive lineman as the roster stands now.
Yes.
No tackles. We've signed 2 already.
Yeah.
Mason Murphy and Chaplin. We think I'm pretty sure, I think Cole is too, they want another tight end. I think they want an inline guy, right? Is that right?
I think so, but you start looking at numbers and priorities. Can they move on without one? Yeah. Do they want one? Probably.
I'll say this. I think as it stands right now, the plan is to add a tight end.
Yes.
I would agree with that.
And
I think as it stands.
Go ahead.
Tate Johnson, yes. Is that what you're going to say?
I was going to say, unless Tate Johnson just absolutely plays better than anticipated as an inline blocker at that position. Yeah. And I know he's changed his body some. Anytime you move an offensive lineman to where they're in line or even trying to block in space, it's different for them.
Yeah.
And I don't know how quickly he's going to adjust to that.
All right. So on offense, I think they're going to try to add a depth piece. They're going to try to replace the Cal quarterback who left, Sam Jackson.
Okay.
I think you're going to try to go get a young wide receiver who envisions himself starting in a year or 2.
Fair.
Or hooray, I don't think you're going to get a 1-year guy to come in and be. I mean, let's be honest here. Auburn doesn't have snaps to offer at wide receiver right now.
Not unless it's like a D2 guy that's just looking for a way up to Auburn or something, a 1-year guy that's not going to cost you, and they're an insurance policy. I'm trying to think of the guy from Washington State a couple years back, and then he played at like Northern Colorado or something Woods.
Oh, yeah, Cassidy Woods.
Cassidy Woods came in. A scenario like that where a kid's gotten kind of lost in the portal somewhat, and he hasn't found a landing spot, and Auburn just offers him a scholarship because he's a quality backup. He needs a spot to go to finish his degree. There's situations like that are out there.
Yeah, you're right.
So, Don, as it stands right now, we think 1 tight end, 1 wide receiver. On defense, we're thinking a Mike linebacker.
Yes.
Well, let's start in the middle. I definitely think a 3 technique.
Yes.
I think a 3. So I'm going to mark down DT. I think they're good at edge.
Yep.
I think they're good at defensive end, the 5.
Yep.
I think they want the Mike linebacker. They're good at the weak side, the wheel.
Yep.
I think they're good at corner, and I think they're good at safety.
I think they could take a shot on another defensive back, don't you, Cole? It probably depends on who's there.
Yeah, I mean, there could be some shuffling,
Did they try to get a guy? I was trying to think of positions they tried to get a middle linebacker. Mm-hmm. They did not. They tried to get a defensive tackle. They did not. I mean, another one in the spring in the winter portal. Did they try, or did they get everybody they had and they were like, all right, we're going to wait till the spring? Because they didn't try to get another tight end because I think they were going to wait until the spring portal to add one. So anyway, we'll say one more safety, possible DB.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just DB period.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. So right now, Don, we're looking at 4. A tight end, a wide receiver on offense, a D tackle, a linebacker, and maybe a defensive back.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
4 to 5 is how it stands right now. We'll see what happens if anybody leaves Auburn nutrition-wise after the spring. And obviously those holes presumably would be filled as well. All right, Luis H. What time of the year do you think Auburn will land its 2026 class quarterback? Would it be similar to the Deuce case? I do not think it will be similar. I think we all agree that by the end of the summer, Auburn's got a quarterback committed. Does anybody disagree with me? I do. I think Auburn's going to shoot for Jared Curtis. And when they figure out that they can't get him, they're going to take Travis Burgess. That's how I see it shaping up right now.
I mean, I have a lot of opinions about it, but if it's anything like it was a year ago, I mean, I even wrote this today about Landon Duckworth. Like, yeah, I don't think Auburn's the team for him right now, but I would have said the same thing for Deuce Knight this time last year.
Cole, I'm with you on that. And he was about to be the one I was going to bring up. If it's like last year, it's because they've doubled back on Duckworth and decided he's worth it.
What's interesting, when I went back and looked at some of the things that Freeze said on quarterbacks the other day. I posted one of them about Jackson Arnold on the board. One of the quotes he had about Deuce Knight was, I really liked him earlier in the year, and we kind of disconnected and then picked back up.
Yeah, if y'all remember this time last year, Deuce Knight was all Auburn, and Auburn wasn't really heavy on him at the time.
Nope.
You remember that? It was like Deuce Knight, and then it was like nothing. And then it was Deuce Knight.
Yes. I mean, it was because he was all Auburn in the fall, and then it fell apart. He committed to Notre Dame. Auburn decided to start looking at other quarterbacks in the class. And, we go through 3 of them before we finally got back around to Deuce.
It was
what the reason I bring up that quote is because I feel like Freeze was almost saying it may have gone down something like this. Like, I know we have all these I know Juju Lewis is like in it. We're in it with him. Deuce is the guy I've liked all along. Let's do that.
I mean, I think that's possible. I tend to lean more to what Jay Lee said, minus one nuance. I do believe they're going to take a big swing at Keyshawn Henderson. I think they're going to try to get him to OV. Him and Jerry Curtis, I think they're going to recruit them both very hard. See if they can land one of those two when it doesn't happen. And I don't believe that it will, because I don't think Henderson's going to flip from Houston. I think everything he says, and it sounds very believable to me. And when I ask, it seems as though he's very committed to staying right there in Houston for that program. Jerry Curtis, I just don't see him landing at Auburn. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm way off here, and he's going to end up committing to Hugh Freeze, and more power to him if they can make that work. But I just don't feel it. And then, if that's the case, I think they're going to land on the young man from Grayson, and I would put that in the timeline somewhere around July. I think that's when that would take place.
All right, B's 5. Who is the one prospect that this staff can't miss in the 2026 class, and why? I think we all hate the can't miss stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know what you're trying to say. But I mean, they can miss on anybody. It doesn't matter.
I always look like a chump on these.
I always start in-state perception.
Yes.
When I was thinking of can't miss, I'm thinking about, that's going to leave a black eye amongst the perception. Like, oh my God, how can we have who can't get away this week? I mean, Cedarian Morgan he can miss. You can miss on CD Morgan. You can. I like to think of players who Auburn is expected to get.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll give a shout out to Big Sexy on the board, who made a good point today. I guess he'll be one of my how abouts later for this. He's like, guys, Cedarian Morgan's a big deal, but Auburn's okay at receiver. Like, if you miss on him, you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the running back. He felt like the running back, and I read it. I was like, you know what? I agree with this. Running back is a big deal in this class. I almost wonder, how far is Auburn willing to go for a Jay Lamar in this class?
Yeah.
I question that. I want to see how far. It feels like this is the class where you can really get. I mean, the running back you get in this class, if you get a high-powered guy, he's going to be right in the rotation next year.
The top 5 in-state guys are Anthony Jones, C.D. Morgan, Hezekiah, Zion Gibson, Xavier Crowell, and I don't see any of those guys as can't miss. Like, I don't know. Let me keep going. Who's a can't miss?
I know who we named as can't misses, like in the past. Like we said, Keldrick Falk.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that matches that exactly? I mean,
JJ would have been last year.
Yeah.
Like, you can't miss JJ Falk because his brother's there.
I'm going to twist this question slightly, and I'm going to tell you who I think Auburn's going to wish they hadn't missed on if they pass on this kid. and that's Deshaun Spencer. I think they are going to really kick themselves if they skip on
What
him.
is up with y'all's love for this guy?
He's man, his change of direction, his speed is
he like Tyrone Prothrow or? I haven't watched him. I've just read, and he's got some high marks, man. He came away from that Under Armour camp. And I mean, if Charles Power is writing about a 3-star kid from Alabama being dominant.
I was standing with Charles when we were watching him run routes, and he was giving it the ooh.
Yeah.
So
are we talking Tyrone Prothrow type athlete?
Honestly, he looks, and I don't want to go this far. And you know how I personally don't love comparisons because it sounds like you're trying to say he's going to be this. But he reminds me of his former teammate, Ryan Williams, a little bit.
Wow.
He's got some of that fluidity to him. But, Jeffrey, when you get an opportunity, watch some of his clips from that camp. I came across some of it. Watch him sink his hips and break in and out of his cuts. Just how natural he is, how he stems the route. And then he catches it very effortlessly, Cole. I mean, it looks – he's not body catching or anything like that. I mean, he's got strong hands for an inside slot wide receiver and a guy that just understands how to get open.
Yep.
That's an innate skill. Now, obviously, it helps when you're on the same page with your quarterback, but he's a kid that I honestly believe his star is very much on the rise. He's one of those that's going to be a top 150 player before it's all done.
So, do y'all have a can't miss? I can't find one.
So, even though Anthony Jones, Tank Jones, is just think about him going to Alabama, right? That's a pretty big shot, especially with what you just did in state. And you've kind of somewhat flipped the script in Mobile when it comes to those kids down there. I don't know. Is that your guy? Is that the one, even though that it doesn't seem like Auburn's in great standing with him right now?
For me, it's Vodney Cleveland because there's not another nose tackle in this class that I really want to hitch my wagon to. I think he is the guy at that position. And for that reason, and he's in state, because Alabama's excluded now. Whatever happened on that situation, I don't know.
Wild.
Andrew Bone and Tim would have far more information on that than me. But for whatever the reason, there's a big split there. He's no longer in their top 6. They are no longer in his top 6.
Right.
Auburn versus out-of-state schools for a nose tackle that you need in this class, to me, that's can't miss. That's the one. So losing him to Florida and losing Hezekiah Harris to Florida, if that were to come to pass,
it wouldn't be good.
That's not good.
Those two, Hezekiah Harris, assuming he continues to be what Auburn thinks he is. And last I checked, which was a couple of days ago, they still felt pretty good about him, even though he was flirting hard. I think you've got to get one of. How about this, D's? D's? Was it B's? Whatever. B's. Was it B's?
B's.
B's. D's. I think you've got to get one of these stud edges that keep showing up. You've got to get a Tank. You've got to get a Trenton Henderson. You've got to get a Hezekiah Harris. I think if you miss on all 3 of those guys, I think that's a bad look, especially after you only signed, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jared Smith is your only edge in the 2025 class.
Correct. And unless J.J. Falk moves down to edge, which we think, given his body, his frame, that's very doable if that's what they decide to do.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But it's not a guarantee. To my knowledge, DJ recruited him as a Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting how that goes.
So before we move on, I had 2 more pop in my head just to run these by y'all. What about Bryce Perry-Wright? Is that anywhere on y'all's radar for this?
He's not can't miss, but, man, he's good. He's good. I don't know that there's another 3-tech in this class like him.
So he came to mind. I'm not entirely sure either. This one's interesting, though, and Alan, it kind of goes to your point, like on Deshaun Spencer, where you look at it and you go, man, Auburn might be sorry to let that one go.
Mm-hmm.
But that is no longer the case with Jacquez Wilkes because we think Auburn is pretty much
yes.
So that might be more what we're looking for here.
I considered him.
He would definitely be in my group, Cole, of the ones that Jeffrey just mentioned. Wilkes would be because I think Like, I like the two kids you've got committed in Shadarius Tootle, and I think he's a very athletic Mike. I like Jamichael. I think Wilkes is different, man. And you don't sign that one, and I think it's tough sledding on who else you're going to get from the linebacker position in this class.
Yeah, it's something about those small town guys too that it just feels like more that Auburn. I don't know. It feels like they fitted Auburn pretty well. That's kind of my feel on how it was with Keldrick when he was in high school. Like, he is at Highland Home. He's right down the road. That's a small town. It fits. I don't know. I feel that way about Wilkes a little bit now that I'm thinking about it.
That's a good pick.
Let's see. Jaden Broadnax is Auburn pushing for him. Absolutely. From everything I know, Auburn pushing for Jaden Broadnax, and if not, who is above him on the corner board that we have a realistic shot with? I think Auburn is absolutely pushing for Jaden Broadnax.
Yeah.
I'll give you my cornerback board. I put up a post called Setting the Table for Defense and Offense today. But these are the guys that I have. Kerry Adams from 4-star out of Maryland. I think
Kerry?
Is it Kerry, or how do you say it?
Yes,
it's Khary.
It's Kari.
Is it Kari? So, okay. Kari Adams. Jordan Thomas, 4-star out of New Jersey. Zion Gibson, 4-star out of Gadsden. Caden Harris, big sleeper prospect out of West, just offered in Tennessee. And then Jaden Broadnax. And I think from a skill set standpoint, all of those are above him. But as far as getting them in the class now, I think Broadnax is the one that's making a decision here relatively soon. Which probably makes him the most important.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to announce in the next few weeks. I think he said that a couple of weeks ago.
He said February to us, I believe, Jeffrey.
Okay. Well, I might need to check on him.
Yeah. Is this your possible Devin Williams? You remember Devin Williams committed? Y'all remember? I think I made a post or something about. I think March is going to be a big month for Auburn. Multiple commits. Y'all remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And then Devin Williams commits on the last day of February. I'm like, y'all got to give me that one.
Absolute underscore value. Since we are setting up so many official visits this summer, the new trend, absolutely. What are each of your best guesses at how many commitments Auburn will have by August the 1st?
Ooh.
All right.
So many variables on that.
No idea.
So how many did it have last year? Let's start there.
What did they have, 16? 18?
A lot. I mean, most of it
right now.
It was either 18 or 20.
Let's see. Yeah, it was a lot. Let's see. 1,
I don't know how you even find that.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Oh.
Yeah, 19.
Damn. Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. They were.
Cale Ellis was technically 26 at the time, but he was committed and he reclassified.
Yeah, because I remember walking out of Big Cat, we were somewhere between 18 to 20. After AC jumped into the boat, literally walking out the door and then posting his graphic 10 minutes later.
Derek Smith the next day.
Yeah. Was it the next day or 2 days?
2 days later, maybe.
I think it was 2 days because we all expected him to go the next day.
Yeah.
And then the board was in like full blown meltdown.
Yeah, we saw him that night sneaking out with Jeremiah.
Yeah.
You remember that, Cole?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
He snuck out the side door with Jeremiah.
With Eric Winters and Alvin Henderson, and I think Deuce Knight was with him at that point, even though he was not technically at Big Cat, right?
Right. Or was that – did Juju come – Juju came to Big Cat, didn't he?
He was going to.
And he didn't.
Yes.
We didn't.
Yeah.
So really the only guys that committed after August 1st would be Darion Smith, Sam Turner, Elijah Melendez.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. Jared Smith. No, he was July. Deuce Knight.
So 75% to 80% of the class was committed last year by August the 1st.
Yes.
And you got to think all of July is now dead. All of August is now dead.
Yes. I'll put us in that 15 bucket. That's what I think it'll be, because I think this is going to be a slightly smaller class, it feels like. Do you guys think so? Or am I off on that? I mean,
ideally, you want it to get smaller as you build, right?
well, you've just taken,
yes.
yeah, you've taken so much. You've flipped, God, so much of your roster since they've been here.
Yeah.
And they've taken two big classes, high school classes back to back. And I think this is a smaller senior class this year. So unless you just have a ton of attrition,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you're going to take much more than 20 to 21 guys out of high school this year.
That's the thing. It's not so much about how many you're adding; it's about how many you're losing. Because that was such a big deal. You know, they were missing on so many evals. I mean, the 2021 class had one player left in it, Darquez Hunter.
That was a good one, but it was only one, right?
Yeah, it was a great one. But yeah, the class as a whole, unfortunately, a failure. And some of those guys went on and did things to other schools, but if they're not doing it for Auburn, it's a failure.
Look, that 2021 class and the 2022 class, there's so many busts in that. And I put part of that, it's not necessarily has anything to do with the staff at the time, COVID and the inability, the limited evaluations these guys got. I think it was kind of a crapshoot, man, in some of those classes.
Let's see what old Barner Becca 98, who has returned to grace us with her presence, who is a 2026 recruit that's currently flying under the radar, not getting talked about much, but that you have your eye on. Now, a week ago, we would have said Deshaun Spencer, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't know. I kind of feel like he's still kind of under the radar, right? You think he's kind of emerging?
Yeah.
I think he's definitely emerging. I haven't looked at his at X or anything to see how many offers he's picked up.
Let me show everybody who we're talking about.
He's definitely on record with all the recruiting industry people now. That's the difference. I think his star rating is going to go through the roof. Maybe people knew enough about him before. I don't know. I'll go Bubba Frazier as a guy that's still not getting talked enough about.
Deshaun is a 3-star on every site right now. The On3 industry ranking, he is basically the 500. That's going to change. I think he's just from reading about him, he's a top 10 player in the state.
Yes, I think so. And then the question is, and this is not me casting aspersions at any coaches out there, but when his star rating goes up, how many coaches say, hey, I'm a little more interested now because of the cachet that guy's carrying?
Absolutely.
And Jeffrey, you've been in this business for a long time. There are guys that are going to do that.
They care about rankings. I know they won't admit it, but they do.
100% they do.
I'll give you one. He's a 4-star, actually. But, boy, he gets no buzz for some reason. And I really do think Auburn's one of the top schools for him. Trying to figure out where Auburn has him on the board. But Nasir McCoy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. From Buford. Yeah.
Yeah, Buford. Nasir McCoy, I think Auburn, Georgia. I mean, he made the comments to us at the Under Armour camp like, Auburn's that first school on me, man. That means everything. You know, and made a big deal out of that. And is always at Auburn every time we turn around, right, Jeffrey? I mean,
always.
Yeah, and he doesn't get talked about much.
Let me give you a guy that I think is he's another one. Watch for him to explode. But Braylon Edwards, a 3-star safety out of Texas.
Yeah, that's my boy from Duncanville.
There you go. And I do believe he's a safety or a nickel, star. I don't want to call it the incorrect position, but star or a safety, because it looks like TJ's on him. And Wes is pretty firm on the guys he's recruiting are corners. And it looks like TJ's recruiting the other secondary positions back there. But impressed with him. He's good, really good.
That's a good one.
Really good recognition skills in the back end, good ball skills, good short area burst. And good quickness and speed too. I mean, I think he's a player.
I think all of those were really good picks. All of those good picks. Barner Becca.
What about Xavier Larice?
Yeah, that's a great one, Cole.
He was there for A-Day, right?
Yes. And
Yeah.
he'll be back for let me see if I can figure out how to spell his name.
Junior Day. I'm sorry, Junior Day.
It's Lherisse. Larice.
Now, is he a safety or a corner? I think he's a safety, right?
He told us nickel is being talked about a lot with him. When
Okay.
you get into those specific positions like that, when you know a coach has told the kid, look, you fit at our nickel spot or our star,
Yeah.
then you know, okay, they are really looking at this kid because there's not a lot of people, there's not a lot of targets at those spots. If that makes sense.
No, and of course, Wayne can play that spot, but they may also like him in the back end, so I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, they already have Wayne Henry. That's right.
Let's see what old Peter be hanging.
That one gets you every time, dude.
Well, it starts off, with normal old Peter. Old Peter be hanging. Let's see. Besides Botany Cleveland, who are some of the other true noses? We talked about this earlier, Alan.
Yeah, man.
Who else are there?
I mean, I honestly don't know. I could not tell you. Maybe it
Aiden Kane?
Maybe. What about is it Nico Crittenton? Is that what his name is? Is it
Tico
Crittenton? Maybe Tico. I saw where he flashed some at One Tech and also played at the 3. So maybe he's a guy.
Is Aiden the twin Harris? Is he a 3 tech?
He's a 3.
Okay.
Even to a 5, maybe, but a 3.
Okay.
He plays a ton of 4-eye. When you watch his tape, he's lined up inside shoulder of the tackle a ton. So it'll be interesting how they use him. And a lot of it's probably because of his size and whatever they're trying schematically on the defensive side of the ball. But
yeah,
that's why Vodney's so important, right?
Yes.
He is. He is for that reason, because when you look through all the guys, I mean, there's just not a lot of nose bodies out there.
What do you think Ernest Rankins, as tall as he is? I mean, he's more like he's got like an offensive tackle type build. Cole, you talked about that.
Yeah.
Could he anchor down and play nose?
I don't know, man. He's got to put on a lot of weight to do it. He's not exactly he's very tall and rangy, but I wouldn't say he's built like Jason Jones where he could play nose.
Huh.
Right.
He's built more like, I don't know. He's not your typical D-line build. Really.
No. And you can see it on tape.
Built more like Charles Cross.
Yeah. Yeah, tall and real lean. Got to put on some weight. Playmaker, makes a lot of plays. I mean, I think that lends to being a 3 with his body type.
Sure.
I don't think he's a nose at all.
So,
Jermaine Kitzler, I think that guy's way too good at getting off of blocks and shooting the gap to be a nose. That's the thing. Where is your nose? Where are the noses in this class? It's hard to find them.
It really is. And that's, again, if you're talking can't miss, to me, given the need at the position, being in state, Vodney Cleveland is that guy in this class that you need to come away with.
I think Vodney will get my vote for that reason. Dear D's 5.
I'll give you a name. I've been doing some digging on this guy. I wanted to post about him, but I don't know enough about him yet. But I know Auburn's interested. That would be Damari Simeon. All right.
Let me write that one down.
He's from New Jersey, actually.
Okay.
And he's a 6'2", 280 type guy. So, you're looking at a shorter build.
St. Augustine Prep.
St. Augustine Prep. Yep. Damari Simeon. And I know Vontrell King Williams went and visited him during the contact period, and somebody they're looking at. Maybe this is a potential nose. I'm just looking through to see what I can find here, and he popped up, and I remembered his name. So it's crazy how there are not any nose types out there, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Buddy Broski's going to be busy this cycle, right? A couple New Jersey guys.
Yeah. Auburn's had a little bit of a New Jersey connection lately. I mean, Isaiah Rakes was from there, Elijah McAllister.
Yeah.
There was another one too. I'm missing somebody. Was it Bleedy? No, he's from New Mexico. Anyway, they've had a few from New Jersey here lately.
Absolute _value. Do we still have a Big Cat weekend given the time changes this year on the dead period? If so, what will probably the new date? This was fantastic. I confirmed Tuesday that there will be a Big Cat.
Okay.
I don't know when.
I don't think they know when, if I'm going to be honest with you.
No idea. Because, I mean, you got official visits through June. The only thing I can think of, and I was looking at my calendar today going, when is it? When could it be?
Sure.
Auburn doesn't have anything set up for that last official visit weekend. Now, you know they like to go play golf that weekend.
They do. But with the increased dead period, did they say, okay,
yeah,
we're going to skip on the golf this year?
Can we push that back a week?
Yes.
Yeah.
And have us a Big Cat that last weekend before the dead period, because that's when they like to do it. It would remember the week of Big Cat was the only thing I believe that was open in July and August, and they went ahead and closed that. Yes. That's when Auburn had the Big Cat into the summer deal. It was always the last Saturday in July.
Correct.
Yeah. That's no longer an option. So now is it going to be the last Saturday in June? Which I believe is the 20th, so it wouldn't be the last Saturday, but it's the last open Saturday in June, which let me make sure. I do not think Auburn has any official visit scheduled for that weekend.
No, I'm with you. I was just looking at it today, Jeffrey, and I'm almost positive you're right.
They don't. They have, listen, on June the 13th, they have 9 already for that June the 13th weekend.
That's probably the last official, because they're getting into May a lot more with official visits.
Yep. A lot of Mays. May 16th, early May, mid-May.
Yeah.
But here's the deal about that. I'm just talking through this. Here's the deal about June 20th is that you're going to have Zion Ely, Braylon Womack, Jaira Edwards, Xavier Crowell all in for official visits on June the 13th. It's going to be tough to get all those cats back the next weekend.
It really is. It is. So did they try to change official visits? But some of these kids, they get set and they've got.
Yeah, it's unless they do it that June the 13th weekend.
Yeah, they could. How many guys from far away are coming in on that one by comparison to others?
A lot. So you've got all the Maryland guys. You've got J.C. Anderson coming from Illinois. You've got Caden Harris coming from Tennessee. You've got Evan Jacobson coming from Iowa. And then, like I said, all the Baltimore guys. And these are just the guys that we have confirmed at this point.
Sure.
So a lot of out-of-staters coming in. Braylon Womack's coming over from Mississippi. But most of those, like I said, Maryland, Iowa, Illinois, Tennessee, Mississippi. So I don't know. I tell you what, by the time this show airs on Wednesday, I'm going to have a better idea of that. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to make that a point.
I think that's worthwhile figuring that out because that's a big piece for us. That's a big piece for them to work the logistics on that. So interesting.
Yeah. So that's a great question. And I'm glad I checked on it today, but there will be a Big Cat. I know Aiden and Andrew Harris are planning to be there for Big Cat. I just don't know when it is at this point.
Let me look at one other thing because the only other thing I'm thinking of, when is Memorial Day weekend? Because you remember the initial inception of Big Cat was Memorial Day weekend. Mm-hmm. It was in May.
You're right. Let me pull up my calendar. So, September, October, November, December, where are we? February. All right, so it opens back up on March the 3rd. Mm-hmm. That's when spring practices will begin on the 25th, actually. I don't know, man. Maybe they do it early in March. Maybe they do it May 31st.
Okay.
No, that's a big visit weekend.
So Monday, May 26th is Memorial Day. All right. Which means that weekend. If they don't have anything set up that weekend, Jeffrey, if you look, there's a gap. There's May 16th and May 30th and nothing in between. Bet money on that one. I bet they put it on Memorial Day weekend and try to kick kids there for the full 3-day weekend.
It's dead on Sunday.
Is it dead on Sunday?
It's dead on the 25th.
Okay. The 25th is the Monday.
25th is Sunday.
It's 25th Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, let me see what calendar this is. Oh, that's 24. I'm looking. Is that right, though?
Let's see.
No. It's 2025. May 25th is on a Sunday.
Yes, it is. So the 26th is the Monday. So no, then that's not going to work.
Right.
That's why they're skipping off that weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
That's why. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have this figured out, big dog. I'm gonna be hanging more after I figure that out.
I think that last week of June. I think that's gonna be it.
You and Peter be hanging, huh?
Yeah. Speaking of Peter B. hanging, here's Holden Effort.
Well timed, sir. Touche.
He did it on purpose. He did it on purpose.
Nice job, Zach. Nice timing. The comedy is all about timing.
Yes, it is.
Holden Effort is signing a high-level QB, or any QB for that matter, every recruiting class as important anymore, given the recent success portal QBs in college football have had. I had a conversation about this, and no. And let me tell you something. I think that's why, and I don't want to downplay. I don't want to downplay Travis Burgess at all, or a Landon Duckworth at all. But we've said this and we've talked about this. You've got a tier one up here with Dia Bell, with Keyshawn Henderson, with Jared Curtis, with Ryder Lyons, and then you've got a tier two with Landon Duckworth and Travis Burgess and some other cats. It's okay to take a developmental guy.
Yes.
And honestly, it's good to take somebody, but you don't have to anymore.
I think before RevShare, before NIL, before things were capped and you were actually an actual budget was enforced, take whoever you can. And I still think that applies somewhat, right? You want to take the best you can at each position. I think that still applies here, but within reason, right? Cole has always made the point, you don't have unlimited resources. So what do you need the most in this class? To me, you need defensive line in this class. You need running backs in this class. You need DBs in this class. Those, to me, are the spots where I think you have holes where you're going to need to fill after the season is over. And that's probably where the concentration, offensive line, where the concentration of your resources are going to go. So does it make sense to you when you've just invested what you have in Jackson Arnold and invested what you have in Deuce, and you have a guy that's going to cost you half, if not a quarter of what it's going to cost for one of those other guys, and reapply those resources, and you like this kid, you think you can develop this kid, and you think he's got the potential long-term, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not the next day, but down the road 2 years, if he'll stick with you, he has an opportunity to thrive within your system. And that's a lot of ifs, right? Because kids get impatient. And that's Cole's point also is you start going on the clock when you realize, like, hey, I ain't the guy. How long do I want to be here? But I'll let you guys take it from there.
I'll said my piece. I don't think it is. I think if you take a Deuce Knight 1 year, I think you can wait. You can take a developmental guy or nobody, and you can go get a tier one guy the next year. I think a tier one guy every other year is ideal.
I'm kind of.
That's from somebody who knows about it a lot more about it than I do. That was his idea, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
I know what you're talking about, Jeffrey, and yeah, that's why I'm kind of with you on that too, because I agree with that. You know, I think the situation matters. I think
for sure.
I think your room matters, your quarterback room. I mean,
absolutely.
Auburn probably knew. I don't know if they knew about Walker White. That one was probably a little bit more of a surprise.
I think it was definitely a surprise if my information's right. But
so I thought so too. I don't think it was the biggest. It was a surprise, but it wasn't like anyway.
Yeah, I hear you. I know what you're saying.
Hank Brown, though, I mean, I think they pretty much knew what was going on there. I think they knew what was going on with Holder Gardner. Peyton Thorne was moving on. So they were expecting, to only have one quarterback in the room. Go get the guy that year. Deuce Knight. That's the guy they really want, right? Now you flash forward to this quarterback room. Ashton Daniels won't be back, right? He's great. Jackson Arnold can be back for sure.
Yep.
You're hoping he is. You're hoping that it works out well enough to where he's wanting to come back and be your guy again in the next year, right?
Yeah, if not, you're probably going to the portal again where Hugh Freeze isn't here. One of the two.
Right. And then Deuce Knight, and he's getting very valuable snaps early on in his career. And Tanner Bailey is also there as a walk-on, but he's there.
Yeah, quality arm.
So is this the year you could afford to get a Travis Burgess because, you really need a glue guy in your class like a quarterback to hold it together? I'm not so sure you can just let it go is what I'm saying. I think you can, but I'm not sure. I mean, we haven't seen it happen yet. Auburn always has a quarterback in its class. I haven't seen what a class looks like without one in it.
It's lonely.
It's weird, right? It's weird.
Especially when you're trying to sign. Now, here's the deal, Alan. Here's the deal about signing a tier 2 guy.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to sign a big wide receiver class this year. It's going to mirror more 2023 than it did, or 2024 than it does 2025, where there was just a couple of guys, Sam Turner, and Derek Smith, a couple of really developmental guys with high ceilings. Now, don't get me wrong. There's people love some Sam Turner. Let me go ahead and throw that out there. I think Cole's mentioned that. But if you're going to have a big quarterback class, it's tough. It helps. It helps a lot when you've got a Walker White to throw to him. To pitch to him.
It does. I think
I'm going back to the 2024 class when you got Cam and all those, and you've got a Walker White, a top 100.
I agree. I think the only thing you've got, if you take Travis, and again, I think Travis Burgess is a talented kid. I honestly think he probably is going to be on the upswing after his senior year as far as his evaluation goes, and he's going to be sitting higher than he is right now. That said, you've got Deuce Knight to sell, and I think that is the one,
that's who you're selling.
Yeah, that's who you're selling. You're selling to these guys because, hey, Deuce is already in the system. He's here. You're going to be playing with him day one.
That's right.
That's the sales pitch, in my opinion, that they're probably coming through, regardless of what happens with Travis Burgess or not.
I was sitting here arguing with myself. That was that was devil's advocate saying, well, Deuce Knight is who you're really selling here. You can get away with taking a tier 2 guy this year because you've got a tier 1 guy right over there holding the clipboard.
Yes.
Maybe
not.
Last thing, Alan, I saw this question. It didn't make the cut, and it's a good thing. I understand, but there was a question about Bashir. Auburn basketball picked up a huge commitment from Abdul Bashir, JUCO, high-scoring shooting guard from Wyoming, originally out of Nebraska. Everybody is well known. Well before this kid ever committed, he's got a brother, Abdi, at Monmouth, who lit Auburn up earlier in the season. And there is some talk that they might end up together. Now, here's the deal with that. He's not in the portal.
Nope.
So, Auburn's not recruiting him. No, I'm just kidding. I really don't know. There's obviously no direct contact with him.
Sure.
So, but if he enters, I want to say this: if he enters the portal, you would expect Auburn to be a contender for him. And I don't know that that's a fact. I don't know that Auburn has any interest in the kid.
No, but it would stand to reason, especially if you lose Denver Jones after the season's over. You're already losing Miles Kelly.
What is Abdi? I don't know anything about him.
He's a 2 or a 3.
Okay. Same position as his brother.
Yes.
Okay.
They're almost mirror images of each other.
Are they twins?
No, I think, well, maybe. Maybe they are, because he's been at Monmouth for 2 years? I think Abdi's a year older.
Okay.
I think he's a year older.
Okay.
But no, it would make a lot of sense for Auburn to bring him in if you lose Denver Jones. If you don't lose Denver, well, then it's a different conversation, because, again, your biggest need on your roster, if you get Denver and Chad back, is going to be center and power forward. That is the focus that you're going to have, because you feel good about Tahad. You feel good about Denver. You've got the JUCO that you're bringing in. You've got Cade Magwood, Sebastian Williams, the shooter,
Justin Powell.
Yeah, well, he's a Justin Powell clone. What's his real name?
What is it? Is his name Justin Powell?
No, that was like 5 years ago.
Oh man, what's his name?
Simon Cowell.
Yeah, that's it.
Simon Walker.
Simon Walker. My man said Justin Powell with a straight face.
I was so sure that was him. I was like, yeah, how do you not know Justin Powell? Yeah, it's him.
I know, man. But Simon Walker. But yeah, it's fixing the 5 and the 4 spot. That's where the predominant amount of Corey and Ira and Steven's focus is going to go. Is finding a 4 and a 5. They would obviously take it. And again, it becomes even more important if Denver chooses not to come back. And he could very well choose to do that. So
I would love to see him another year.
I would too.
All right. Speaking of, that's going to take me right into my how about you. I've only got one so far. I might come up with another one before the end of the show. But so Jamie Shaw comes on. Jamie Shaw, on 3 national basketball analyst, comes on the corner earlier this week, and he posts like, "Hey, not sure if y'all knew this or not, but Abdul Bashir has a brother at Monmouth." Well,
I don't know. I know which one you're talking about.
The corner ate his ass up with we landed on the moon, Germans bombed Pearl Harbor. So because the corner had been talking about this guy since he lit up Auburn earlier in the season.
For sure.
And so, but Jamie Shaw being the pro that he is, because I guess he went away for about 30 minutes and he came back and he saw that everybody was just
Listen, you got to give Jamie, because the corner is a place where you have to be in the loop a little bit. And if you're not, you step in there and say something where you miss something, you are getting burned alive.
Yeah, they dragged him.
Yeah, they did.
But he came back and was dragging back, dude. And Robbie Ventura had posted something, took a shot at him, and Jamie posted the gif of Robin Ventura chasing Nolan Ryan, and Nolan Ryan beating his ass.
The rabbit punch in the head. Yeah.
So how about you to Jamie Shaw?
I like that one. That one's good. Jamie actually made up with the corner. I think they're all good now.
Listen, he couldn't have handled that any better. He went at him, right back at him.
Yes, you do it. You have to do it.
You got
because if you run scared,
he did a good job. We appreciate Jamie and all these contributions. He's fantastic at what he does for sure.
Yes,
for sure.
All right, how about you from you fine gentlemen?
I got 3.
Okay.
The first one is to Don.
All right.
Going on Jocks Radio and sticking it to all the Bammers.
Donald Michelle.
Donald Michelle, yes. If we could give one to Donald Michelle.
So we get confirmation that he is actually just missing the tape.
Yeah,
there you go.
Which is much more likely. Love you, Don.
The next one is to Wile E. Coyote in the same thread.
All right.
Oh boy.
Who said, Don, you're a goddamn American hero. And last to Eli Double-Lot. We had a nice little exchange before I came on the corner tonight. Came on the show tonight. And Eli, appreciate you, Eli. You got some. You took it. You took your ribbon and good humor. So
every message board needs an Eli.
Yes.
Not a Rice. They're very similar, man. They got to be brothers or something, right?
We gotta have a Rice.
I love Rice. Yeah, he knows I'm messing with him. Every message board has a Rice. He makes sure of it. Cole Pinkston, what you got, big dog?
Yeah, I got 4, but I guess it's 5. I'm gonna give Big Sexy one since I gave him a shout out during the show.
Okay,
there you go. Let's go.
Dr. Malk.
Good one.
Dr. Malk. He gets one. Sent me some encouragement.
Good dude.
Always good with that. So Dr. Malk for sure. Ranger 361.
Oh, he's a great one.
He hit me up, man. He's been enjoying the food threads that I've been putting.
All right.
Okay.
If I'm not talking Auburn football recruiting, I'm pretty much talking food. So that's what we got. But he was like, man, I'm going to Montgomery. I need some food. I need some restaurant suggestions. Give me your Mexican places. Give me where can I get a good burger? So how about you to him?
Ranger's a good poster.
He is. I think we met him in person. Haven't you? I met him in person.
Yeah.
Anyway, Farmer Fran. Not only is he a character from my favorite movie of all time, The Waterboy.
Yeah.
He gave me some intel, man.
Oh, did he?
Farmer Fran got his ear to the ground. I won't say.
Okay.
Farmer friend spilling the tea.
Between me and him, but some good intel from him, and I appreciate that for sure.
I would have figured that the tea he spit was Oskidiodo.
Another day. So yeah, farm friend. Then my last one goes to a little bit of a controversial character on the corner. I have actually rescinded a how about you for him before. He gets it back. That'd be Trailer Park Swami.
Oh,
hey man, look. He has some good posts. He really does.
He took up for me, which I'm not asking for it. It's fine. There was a motion to ban me on the corner because of what I said on one of our shows. Probably warranted. Okay. The thread was fun. He jumps in and goes, you know what? The silver lining here is that this dude eats, drinks, and breathes Auburn football and recruiting. And that's awesome. He made it that. And I was like, you know what? That's how about you all day.
All right. I actually have one more. And I want to put him in. I want to give him a how about you because I really want him to call because I want to talk to him about this. Hendo.
Yes.
Hendo, of all people, likes widespread panic.
No, man.
I don't believe it. I think somebody hacked his account. Hendo, you got to call in Sunday night, big dog. I got to talk to you about this.
Yes.
I got to talk to you about this.
Because
take you a break, big dog.
Yeah, if you're going to the dark side of the moon with the panic, we need to hear about this, Hendo.
You know what else? You know what else he likes?
What?
He likes the turtleback fry from Chick-fil-A. He does. He made a big thing about that. So he likes widespread panic and the worst fry that I've ever had in my life.
Did y'all see his post? He was like, hey, man, for all you panic fans, there's a live show on right now. I was like, what?
Yeah, no, man, I'm not believing that. Somebody hacked Hendo's account.
I think
all right.
it was August West that did it.
Yeah. August West
right.
is
Yes.
Let's see. But go ahead, Alan.
No, I was going to say, if you'd have told me that August West was talking about,
yeah,
you know what I mean, a Fish concert or Trey and Friends or Jerry Garcia, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I would have bought it. But
Hendo on his break.
Yeah.
No, I mean, dude, I just picture Hendo smoking that Marlboro Red out back.
All right. How about you, Jamie Shaw, Don, Wiley Coyote, Eli Double Lot, Big Sexy, Dr. Malk, Ranger 361, Farmer Fran, Trailer Park Swami, and Hendo 74. Fantastic week on the corner, and it will always be a fantastic week on the corner because we have fantastic fanatics posting on the corner. All right, folks, that's going to do it. Don't forget about Roback and the Auburn Live promotion. Go check out roback.com. Get you 20% off. Auburn20 is the promo code, Auburn20 for 20% off for all new customers. Go check them out. We will be back Sunday night with the call-in show. We'll be looking for Don. We'll be looking for Hendo, two of the guys, and obviously Kevin from Wilmer, Alabama. All right. That's going to do it, folks. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you for Cole, for Alan, for Zach in the back who stayed in the back. I'm Jeffrey Lee, man. Y'all said that left lane. See ya.